Yesterday, we have started to explore the fifth component of the Noble Effort path, right effort. We stop at this paragraph, the paragraph defining the term energy. The mental factor behind right effort can appear in either wholesome or unwholesome forms. The unwholesome forms fuels desire, aggression, violence, and ambition. So, what are some of the worldly examples? Ambition to, probably most people would love to have their own house. That is probably one of our ambitions. To buy a HDB or to buy a condo or to buy a landed house and to own it for ourselves. What are other examples? Probably to get your dream job. For me, I always wanted to work in Google. So I'm still trying to fulfill my ambition. But if it's a wholesome forms, it can fuel, it can inspire generosity, self-discipline, kindness, concentration, and understanding on the other. Bhikkhu Bodhi emphasizes this last qualifying phrase, the energy in wholesome states of consciousness directed to liberation from suffering. This is what it is all about. This is what is the path is about, to liberate ourselves from suffering. For energy to become a contributor to the path, we need what we have read much earlier, right view and right intention. And of course, in association with the other path factors. Otherwise, it will not fulfill the purpose that we have set at the very beginning. So yesterday we stopped at this paragraph. Any questions or comments before we continue? If not, I will continue to read. Time and again, the Buddha has stressed the need for effort, for diligence, exertion, and unflagging perseverance. The reason why effort is so crucial is that each person has to work out his or her own deliverance. The Buddha does what he can by pointing out the path to liberation. The rest involves putting the path into practice, a task that demands energy. This energy is to be applied to the cultivation of the mind, which forms the focus of the entire path. The starting point is the defiled mind, afflicted and deluded. The goal is the liberated mind, purified, illuminated with wisdom. What comes in between is the unremitting effort to transform the defiled mind into the liberated mind. The work of self-cultivation is not easy. There is no one who can do it for us but ourselves. But it is not impossible. The Buddha himself and his accomplished disciples provide the living proof that the task is not beyond our reach. They assure us too that anyone who follows the path can accomplish the same goal. But what is needed is effort. The work of practice taken up with the determination. I shall not give up my efforts until I have attained whatever is attainable by manly perseverance, energy, and endeavor. I really like this paragraph. because this is, I feel like, what separates Buddhism from the rest. The rest, you can probably just, you just believe, and then deliverance will come to you. Yeah, from what I know. But Buddhism, it emphasizes that this line, each person has to work out his or her own deliverance. The Buddha can only point the way, can only lay down the path, but we ourselves are the one who have to walk the path. The Buddha cannot carry all of us and then walk the path until it reach the peak of the mountain, which is the enlightenment. Yeah. If the Buddha can do that, then all of us would have been enlightened, right? But no, we are still here. We are all unenlightened. I assume we are all unenlightened. Our starting point is the defiled mind, afflicted and deluded, but the goal is clear. The liberated mind, purified, eliminated by wisdom. What comes in between is the unremitting effort to transform the defiled mind into the liberated mind. Okay, that's what is unremitting. Let's define it. Never relaxing or slackening, incessant, relentless, continual, constant. This is also important. The work of self-cultivation is not easy. I will assume it's not easy to wake up every day in the morning to meditate. No one can do it, Even if someone wakes you up and force you to meditate, if you don't want to do it, then you will still not do it. But it is not impossible. There are many proofs, the Buddha himself and his accomplished disciples. I was about to say living proof, but I'm not sure if there's any any living proofs, but possibly, maybe. Yeah. Or maybe some of us in the future, who knows? They assure us anyone who follows the path can accomplish the same goal. So what is the missing component? What is needed is effort. The work of practice, determination. Summarized with this last line from the sutta: I shall not give up my efforts until I have attained whatever is attainable by manly perseverance, energy, and endeavor. Any questions or comments? Let me read the chat. Ling says, what about Pure Land though? Sounds kind of like Savior's complex. Well, to be honest, I don't know much about Pure Land, so I cannot comment much on this. Maybe we can raise this up to some venerables. Any of you would like to comment about Pure Land? More importantly, any comments about this paragraph? I think it's a beautifully written paragraph to remind us again what is actually needed in this path.
Can I ask?
Yes, who is it? Zhang Jie, yes.
The sister who asked about Pure Land, is she suggesting that Pure Land doesn't require cultivation?
Ling, is it? Yeah, what do you know about Pure Land, Ling?
Okay, from what I've seen, right, people doing this, right, I mean, they got their own cultivation, but they cultivate by just reciting the Amitabha thing. So I don't know, because I've like heard about testimonies that people who didn't exactly live a holy life, and when they're on their deathbed or their sick beds, like they were about to pass away, and then it's like very last minute kind of effort, then they managed to pass away peacefully. Yeah, so it sounds a bit like in Christianity, then the last minute, then they baptized. Yeah, because they were very desperate. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, at least from what I know from Shifu's explanation about Pure Land, is that they chant the Amitabha name or the sutra, but they chant it and they put a lot of effort in chanting until the mind becomes so concentrated. So that's from what I know how Pure Land system works, something like that. But I'm not totally sure. Zhang Jie, would you like to comment further?
Oh yeah, thank you. I have limited understanding, but from what I know, my mom studies Pure Land Buddhism. So, because the Buddha taught many ways to enlightenment. So, the chanting of the Buddha's name at the last minute, as you said, is one of the many thousands of ways, right? And that is for people who fail to cultivate in their lifetime. But that is not all what Pure Land is, because Pure Land also emphasizes on learning the Dharma, contemplating about it, and practicing. And it's not that anyone who chant the Buddha's name will definitely be reborn in Pure Land. It requires that in this life we cultivate and clear the bad karma such that we're good enough or have enough merits to be able to reborn. And even after they go to the Pure Land, that's not it, because they will still continue to learn and cultivate. That's my understanding.
Thanks, Zhang Jie. So from what I understand, from what Zhang Jie said, even the practice of Pure Land requires a lot of effort, a lot of cultivation. Yeah. So if that is the case, then it shall be in line with what we have read. But maybe, okay, Saigyang would like to say something.
Yeah, I agree with Zhang Jie. Yeah, when you go to Pure Land, it's not the end of your cultivation. You go to Pure Land so that you can cultivate and come back to help the sentient beings. Yeah, the reason why you chant the Buddha's name is because you feel that you alone, your sort of like merits are not enough, and you don't have the confidence, to walk the Bodhisattva path. So you rely on something, and that something is the Buddha with all the great qualities, and the Amitabha Buddha's vow, to help all sentient beings. So when you chant the Amitabha Buddha's name, you're supposed to reflect on the qualities of the Buddha. Yeah. And according to the sutra, it's not so simple as just by chanting the name and then you can get reborn in the Pure Land. You have to chant and come to a level whereby, you don't have any defilement thoughts in between of, if you chant the 10, they said you can minimum, the requirement is to 达到一心不乱. That means you don't have any defilement in between when you chant. Yeah. So when you chant the Buddha's name, I think it's a form of cultivating the concentration. Yeah. So they also have, vipassana. Yeah. So yeah, it's not just by chanting the Buddha's name then you get enlightened. But of course, I also heard one Shifu mention previously is they look at the reason why this Amitabha Pure Land becomes so popular in China previously is because of the conditions of the people there. They are, a lot of like the people who are don't go to school, they don't, they are farmers, they are, labor workers. So they don't have time to do cultivation. And the monks and the monastic then has to, sort of like bring them in to Buddhism first. So they have a simple way of telling them that come, you need just to chant the Amitabha Buddha's name, and then you can get enlightened. So then they put in effort to chant. Yeah, the aim is actually to still have the vow eventually to become a Bodhisattva, to go to Pure Land and purify your mind. That is still the basic, I would say. Yeah, so it's a way of getting people in. Yeah, then from there, then you can teach the Dharma to them.
Okay, thanks for sharing a little bit about Pure Land. So that's a little bit of the discussion about Pure Land, but let's go back to this paragraph. Any more questions or comments on this paragraph?
Yeah, yesterday when I was reading it on my own, I agree 100%, that when it comes to unwholesome, that is referring to the previous paragraph. When it comes to unwholesome things, such as, like, I can cite some examples of my previous doing, like when you're a little kid, when you watch TV, there's no need, there's always full of energy. You have that, endless, boundless energy to do something that you like, to keep watching the TV, and don't do your homework. But when it comes to doing homework, then you have to put in effort. So we humans are like very lacking self-discipline, I would say. So another example is playing games. When you're so attached to all these games, and you don't need people to tell you, yeah, it's very easy. Yeah, just the energy to do it just comes. But when it comes to cultivation, like watching one more YouTube of Dharma sharing, then your mind, your defiled mind will come and tell you, you're so tired today. It's a long day, it's time to rest. That kind of thing. Yeah. That's my sharing about effort. So you have to put in effort.
Okay, thanks again for sharing. Yeah, when you mention playing games, it also reminds me, especially when I play a multiplayer games where people get to kill me in the game. I would really so aggressive and so violent in my body, all three body speech and mind. I was like, okay. That is my pastime, my childhood time, where I go to the cyber cafe and hang out with friends. Yeah, it was actually quite fun, but I can relate. Let's see. Okay, let's read just a few more. Any other comments for the previous paragraphs? Okay, maybe we can wrap up today with reading these lines. Zhang Jie, would you like to read?
Okay, thank you. The nature of the mental process effects a division of right effort into 4 great endeavors. 1. To prevent the arising of unarisen unwholesome states. 2. To abandon unwholesome states that have already arisen. 3. To arouse wholesome states that have not yet arisen. 4. To maintain and perfect wholesome states already arisen.
Thanks, Zhang Jie. So this paragraph divides more systematically the right effort into 4 great endeavors. What are the 4? To prevent unwholesome states to arise, to abandon unwholesome states that have arisen, to arouse wholesome states that have not yet arisen, and then maintain and perfect wholesome states already arisen. we will explore in a greater details for days to come, these 4 great endeavors. For now, we are going to wrap it up. If there is no further questions or comments, any further questions or comments?
Maybe I would want to say these 4 great endeavors in Chinese.
Mhm.
Yeah. So 这个是四正勤. Can you show me?
You want the text?
the screen? So,
I thought you already have it. Okay.
yeah, I want to get the correct sequence. Yeah.
Okay.
So 这个是四正勤，就是精进的意思。The first one to prevent the arising of unarising unwholesome states 就是未生恶不令生。Okay. The second to abandon unwholesome states that have already arisen 已生恶令止息或令断。Number 3 is to arouse wholesome states that have not yet arisen 就是未生善令生。Number 4, to maintain and perfect wholesome states already arisen. 以生善令增长. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Saikyang. This is helpful for those people, I think, someone like Tammy, who is more familiar with the Chinese text. Should I first?
Sister Saikyang, can you put the Chinese one in the chat or in the chat group? I would like to read that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I will write it for you later on. Yeah.
Yes, Saikyang can send me and then I will just include it in the.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Any more further questions or comments? If not, then let's do a dedication. 愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了。普愿具将细消除，实是常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。Till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a great endeavor day ahead. Thank you everyone for participating. I'll see you guys again.
Everybody.
Brother and sister, just let you know I'm going back to my office tomorrow, so I won't be joining the lesson in the morning during the weekdays, but I'll try to join in during the weekend and when I'm not working. Yeah, so continue to support you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Take
everyone.
care.
Take care.